Welcome to my page. This is a black man's view. I had it on my mind to talk about how Donald Trump, instead of focusing on his losing campaign, he's trying to sell playing cards of him dancing and all this other shit on his Truth Social site. That's what I had planned to talk about, but I was like, nah, I'm not giving that dude no more of my airtime. I mean, I might talk about him later on if he does something extraordinarily stupid, which he always does. But Donald Trump's a hustler, and he's a grifter, and the only thing he cares about is money. So it's no surprise that this clown is trying to sell baseball cards to his stupid ass followers and just illiterate ass followers. So, nah, that's not what I want to talk about today. What I'm going to talk about today is my son. My son is 16 years old, and he's into the skateboarding scene big time. He skateboards. That's what he does. When he was younger, I tried to get him in other sports. He played football for a couple years. Tried to get him into baseball. He's never liked basketball. Never liked track. None of that. None of the stuff that I did when I was growing up. He's not into it. I mean, he liked football when he played, but it wasn't his passion. He wrestled his freshman year in high school. He wrestled and he enjoyed that, but still, that's not his passion. Skateboard is his passion. So I ain't mad at him. I'm gonna let him be great. Let him do what he does. You know what I'm talking about? Let him do what he does. I'm not trying to live the life that I wish I had through him. Because even though I played sports when I was young, I played sports in high school. I didn't put the time and effort into it to do anything to be good. I was good in the sports, but I wasn't great. I wasn't good enough to be noticed by any colleges or anything like that. Basically, I was just doing it just to do it because everybody else in the neighborhood was doing it. So that's why I played sports. Wish I would have stuck with it. Wish I would have put more effort into it. But I mean, it is what it is. My life took a different turn, and here I am today. And I'm not trying to live my regrets, even though I'm not saying that's a regret because my life turned out all right. But I'm not trying to live my life through my son, which some parents do, which I don't understand that. So let my son be great. But he told me the other day that he wanted to dye his hair blonde, put leopard prints, blonde and black, put leopard prints in his hair. And I was looking at him and I'm like, why the fuck you want to do that shit, boy? And he's just like, he thinks it looks cool and blah, blah, blah. It's typical teenage shit. And I really can't say nothing I mean, I guess I could say you're not gonna do that, but I'm not gonna put my foot down like that. If my son wants to dye his hair leopard print, blonde and black or whatever, then let him be great. I'm not gonna stop him from doing it. I don't know if his mother will stop him from doing it, but I'm not gonna stop him from doing it. I'm gonna let the boy express himself, let him be who he is. You know what I'm talking about? And so it just got me to thinking about some other conversations me and my son has had and certain trends and stuff nowadays, hairstyles and clothes and all that. Kids nowadays are doing the same things that we did when we were their age, but they act like the shit is brand new. When I pointed out some of the hairstyles that I see these kids rocking now, and I was like, son, I used to have that same hairstyle. Oh, come on, Dad, you know you didn't have that. I was like, yeah, boy, who you think invented that shit? We did. My generation did that. My generation did that. The clothes, some of the shoes. He likes most of the stuff that he's doing now, we did when I was his age. Except for the fact that, back in the day, the whole neighborhood was outside all the time. Summertime, the neighborhood was outside. Now, you might see a kid going to check the mailbox where their parents made them go outside and check the mailbox. But as far as hanging outside and hanging with their friends and doing this and doing that, you don't see that no more. I mean, my son, he goes out, he goes to the skate park with his boys, and they skate and they sometimes they cross the bridge over to South Carolina on their bikes and their skateboards and stuff like that. He does get out. He is active, but for a majority of the summer, he stayed up in his room on video games, playing with his friends. That's how they interact now, video games. And it's cool. I mean, let the kids be great because every generation is different. And it's just, I'm just thankful that my son is not out doing stupid shit. My son ain't out robbing nobody. My son ain't out stealing no cars. My son ain't out trying to fuck every little girl in the neighborhood. He sticks to himself. He does his thing. Sometimes he goes out with his boys. He got 2 friends that he runs with, and sometimes we go down to the country. He runs with his cousin, but my son is basically, I guess every father says that their kids are good, but my kids are good. You know what I mean? He's respectful. He does everything I ask him to do around the house. He knows how to cut grass. He knows how to trim the edges. He knows how to wash the car. He knows how to do all that. If I say, boy, go out and do that, he does it. So he's not disrespectful. I mean, me and him, we bumped heads a couple times, but he's a teenager. You know what I'm talking about? And of course, I'm a bump heads with my son because he's a teenager. He got that teenage attitude that he knows everything. But other than that, he's just a typical teenager. And I'm just saying that I'm glad, I'm blessed that he is who he is. And he does what he does, and he's not out doing some of the stuff that I did when I was his age, because I was in the streets. I was bad. I was in the streets growing up, and sometimes when I talk to my mother, she still don't believe some of the stuff I told her. Yeah, I did this, I did that, I did that. Me and my partners, we was running these streets in North Carolina hard growing up. You know what I'm talking about? And it's not something I regret doing. It's just a rite of passage. I'm just glad that my son is not doing that I know of. Because, you know, teenagers are sneaky. And I know that because I used to be one. But my son is, I'm proud of my son. You know what I mean? I'm proud of him. Sometimes I wish he would exert himself a little bit more. Sometimes I wish he would pay more attention to detail. But all in all, I got a good son. And it just, him talking about dyeing his hair blonde, at first I was like, why in the hell would you want to do that? But then I was like, what can I say? Because when I was his age, I had a high top fade. And I'm sure everybody that's my age know what a high top fade is. And I had a blonde tornado right up the front of my high top. And I thought that was the shit. You know what I mean? And back then it was. And now that shit's coming back around. It's coming back around. So I can't get mad at my son for having a hairstyle. I ain't never talked about no leopard print in my damn head. But if that's the most that he wants to do, then I'm going to let my son be great. You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, that was on my mind. Just sitting here thinking about my son. And I hope that I'm doing a good job, because nobody knows how to be a parent until you are a parent. There's no book on this shit. There's no manuscript. We all make mistakes as parents. We all want our kids to succeed, but we have to realize that we have to let our kids be who God made them to be. And they were not made to follow in our footsteps. They were made to walk and they make their own path. We can set the guidelines of what we want them to do, but ultimately we have to let them walk their own path. And I think so far my kids, they're walking their own path, you know what I mean? And things that they do, I wish that they would do different. Things that I wish they would pay more attention to shit. My son, sometimes I gotta tell him, hey boy, go up there and clean your bathroom, you know what I mean? Bring your clothes down so they can be washed. So we gotta remind him of stuff like that. But if that's the biggest thing I have to worry about, then I think I did a pretty good job as a father so far. So far. Son's 16, daughter's 8, youngest is 3. So far, my oldest daughter would have been 13, but she tragically passed So yeah, that's just on my mind. I mean, there's something more than just talking about Trump's dumbass. So I don't know how y'all think about it, but yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, that's my post for today. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, deuces.